So in the previous class, students, we were talking about the different separating techniques by which we can separate the substances from each other. In this technique, students, last time we were talking about threshing, winnowing and hand picking also. Let me remind you again, when we talk about the threshing, threshing is what in which we separate the stalk or the stem consisting of a shaft in it. Shaft, student, is what? The thin covering which cover the upper surface of the, which is present at the top of the stem or the stalk, which cover the grain, that is known as a shaft. Okay, so when we take the shaft, when we take the stem or the stalk, and when we hit it hard on the surface, then what will happen? See, the shaft or the stem or the stalk, it is a lighter one, it is a softer one, so it will break down into pieces. Okay. Ultimately, when it break down into pieces, students, so it will get separated from that of the grains, and this process is known as a threshing. What is a winnowing, students? So in the process of the winnowing, we will take the husk of the particles. Husk is what? It is actually the broken pieces of the shaft and that of the stem or stalk. Okay, so broken pieces of the stem or the stalk is known as a husk, and grains are also present in it. So we can say that we can remove the grains from the husk. That process of the removal of the husk from the grain is known as a winnowing. Okay, and how we can do the process of a winnowing, students? We can take the husk as well as the grain along with the grain, students, in the winnowing basket and stand at a platform. Okay, at a higher platform. After that, what we can do, when you will make it, when you fall off the husk along with the grain from that height, then ultimately you will see that being a lighter one, the husk will blown away with the wind, and there will be a formation of a heap of a husk, as well as the second one, student, the heap of a grain is formed. This heap of a grain, being a heavier one, it will just fall off near to that of the or down to that of the platform. So by this, students, we can separate the both of them from each other. Heap of a grain will be formed at the one side, and heap of a husk will be formed at the other side. Okay, so this is the method of the winnowing. Now the second one, now the next one, students, that we were talking about, it was hand picking. In case of a hand picking, students, we discussed that basically what happened. If impurities is present in a smaller quantity and the size is, you can say that this much, that we can separate it easily. So by the process of a hand picking, we can separate the impurities from the grains. You see, students, all these are interconnected with each other. How? In the first case, we had broken the stem and that of the grains. We separated the grain from that of the shaft. In the second one, we separate the grain from the husk. Now still, if the bigger particle is there, student, if a heavier particle, because you know that shaft or the husk is the lighter one. So when the wind blows, this husk will blown away with the wind and form a heap of a husk. Okay, but being a heavier particle, the stones which is present in the grains, it will be not get removed, not get separated by the process of the winnowing. So how can we separate it? We can separate it by using the process that is hand picking. Okay, so we can say that by the process of the hand picking, we can separate the husk from that of the grain. Okay, so we can say that hand picking method is used to separate it used to separate the grains from the husk. Okay, so it is used to separate the grains from the husk. Sorry, it is used to separate the grains from the stones, from the small stones or the pebbles. Okay, so from the small stones and pebbles. Okay, so we can say that hand picking method is used to separate the grain from the small stone and the pebbles from each other. Okay, second thing is, students, that we can apply the process of a hand picking only when the amount of that of the grain and the stone or the impurities is a smaller quantity. If it in a bigger quantity, we cannot continue the process with the hand picking method. Okay, so we can see that we can use the hand picking method when the amount of the impurities in a smaller quantity. Okay, so we can say that hand picking method, it can be applied only when the impurities in a smaller quantity. Okay, now you see, students, the food grade, basically it consisting of a small pieces of a stone, and the small pieces of the stone which is kept in a container, and we used to remove the stone by the hand. You have seen, students, last time also I told you about it, that your mother, she used to separate the small pebbles from the grains, from the rice, even from the wheat before making it. So that is what she used to do by the separating technique, by using the separating method, that is known as a hand picking. Okay, so we can say that hand picking is a method by which we can separate the impurities. That impurity should be smaller in the quantity, and we can remove it. We can remove the small stones and the pebbles from that of the grains. Okay. So by this, student, what happened? All the small stone or the pebbles will get separated, and only the we can say only the rice or the grains will left behind. So we will get a pure form of or we can say that we will get a pure grain only. So this is the method, students, that from the threshing to that of the winnowing, from the winnowing to that of the hand picking, this is the method by which we can separate the grains from its stem, from its stalk on which it was in which it was there covered with the chaff, to that of a pure grain without having any kind of impurities in it. Okay, so we can say that threshing, winnowing and hand picking is a method by which we can remove any kind of impurities present in that of the grains. Okay, so this is the one method. Now the next separating technique, so till now we had discussed the three separating techniques, student, that is threshing, winnowing and hand picking. Next one is that is known as sieving. Okay, sieving. Sieving is another kind of a method by which we can separate the two components from each other. How can we separate, students? So a sieve. What is a sieve? First of all, we should understand that for doing the process of the sieving, what we used to do, we used to take a sieve. Okay, so sieving process can be done by using a sieve. And what is a sieve, students? Actually, let me write it here. In the process of a sieving, we will say that we will take a shallow vessel. A shallow vessel which consisting of a small holes at the bottom. Okay, and iron nets can also be used in some cases. So we can say basically the sieves are what? It is a vessel-like a structure which consisting of a small holes at its bottom. Okay, you have seen at your home also that your mother, she used to separate the impurities from that of the grains with the help of a sieve. Okay, so sieve can be made up of iron also. It can be a simple vessel, and that vessel must consisting of small pores, small holes at the bottom. Okay, and which help it to separate it from the impurities. Okay, so let me write it and make you understand that how the process of the sieving occur. So first of all, we will write that what is the sieve and what is the process of the sieving. Okay, so you see students, a sieve is what? A sieve is a hollow vessel. It is a hollow vessel, a shallow vessel. It is a shallow vessel having small holes. It is a shallow vessels having a small holes on its bottom, at its bottom you can see, at its bottom. Sometimes student iron mesh can be used instead of that of a shallow vessel, but ultimately the thing is this clear, that is it is having the small pores at its bottom, whether we are taking a iron mesh or that of a shallow vessel. Okay, so in both of the cases it must consisting of a small holes at its bottom. Now, so this is what the student, this is a sieve, and the process of separating the mixture by using a sieve is known as a sieving. Okay, so we can write it. The process of separating the mixture, it is a process of separating the mixture with the help of sieve. Okay, is called as sieving. Okay, so the process of separating the mixture with the help of a sieve is known as a sieving process. Okay, so it is a process by which we can separate the mixture from each other. Now you see students, what kind of, in what case we can say that we use the sieving process. Okay, so there are a lot of conditions. Even in the previous class we were talking about that different properties, it decide that what kind of a separating technique we should use. So in this case, what kind of a separate means what is the we can say the property by which we can say that we will prefer the separating technique, that is sieving. So basically the first condition that in which we can say that we will use the sieving process, that is the mixture should be a solid one. Okay, a solid mixture should be there. Okay, so we can say that this is a process which is used in separating the solid mixture, used in separating the solid mixture, and okay, it must be a solid mixture, but the size should vary from each other. It means one will be a bigger size, the another one should be of a smaller size. So if they vary with their sizes, if they vary with each other or if both of the component present in the mixture are of a different sizes, then yes, we can prefer the separating technique, that is sieving. Okay, so we can say that sieving is used to separate the solid mixture which have components of a different size, which have the components of different sizes, Okay, so it is not only the student, but it is the most important physical property by which we can say that we prefer the sieving process is the difference in the size. If one is of a bigger size, another one is a smaller size, then yes, we can prefer the sieving process, sieving method for separation. Okay, so basically what happened, if suppose the student you have taken a mixture and that mixture is of a different sizes. Okay, now you have taken the mixture and this mixture of a different size and you put it in the sieve. Now you start continuously making the sieve to move back and forth. Okay, so while doing so, while moving it continuously back and forth, it will make the smaller particles to come out from the holes of the sieve and the bigger particles to remain in the sieve. Because it totally depends upon the size also. If the size is this much that one can pass through it, another one cannot pass through it, only then we can use such kind of a sieve. Okay, otherwise there are a lot of different kind of sieves are there which are having the different pores. Okay, so if a pores is this much that it allow only one of the component to come outside, only then we can say that this separation technique will be beneficial to us. Okay, only then we can take help of that sieve by which we can continue the process of a sieving. Okay, otherwise it is not. Otherwise you can see student, if both of the mixture can pass through the pores of the vessel from the sieve, so there will be no use of using this separating technique. Okay, so better it should be like that, the one can pass through it, another one cannot pass through it. So when you keep the mixture of a different sizes on the sieve and start moving it continuously back and forth, so one will pass through it and the other one will remain on the sieve. Okay, so we can write it. When the mixture having different component of different sizes or having different sizes kept on the sieve and moves continuously, and the sieve is moved back and forth continuously. Okay, so what happens, students, since they are of a different sizes, so the larger particle will not able to pass through the hole, but the smaller particle will be able to come or to pass through that of the hole. Okay, so we can see that because of that, the larger particle, the particle which is having bigger in size, so the larger particle cannot pass through the sieve, but the smaller one or the smaller particle it can easily pass through that of the sieve. Okay, so smaller can easily pass through the sieve. Okay, so one out of the students, we can say that the larger particle, it cannot pass through the sieve, but the smaller can easily pass through the sieve. So you see student, by this process we can separate the larger particle from that of the smaller particle. So we will keep the mixture, mixture consisting of the different sizes of the components in it in the sieve, and we start moving it continuously back and forth. Because of that, the smaller size, it will comes out from the sieve, it will comes out from the pores which is a part of the sieve, and the larger one will remain present on the sieve. Okay, so this is the method by which we can separate both of them. Okay, so you can write it, the mixture. Actually, when we talk about the mixture, I told you the mixture is one, student, which consisting of two different kind of components in it. Okay, one of the component having the smaller particle, and the another component is that of the larger particle. So we can say that in sieving process, it includes two components. Okay, in sieving the mixture consisting of two components, one is the larger particle, another is the smaller one. So one having small particle and other having larger particles. Okay, so in sieving process, two kind of a mixture will be there. So by this, students, we can say that the process by which we can separate the larger to the smaller one. Now, I told you that it also depends upon the whole of the sieves, that whether it can pass or it can be separated from that particular sieve or not. You see, students, here again I am telling you, you have heard about, even you have seen, students, that for a different grades, different types of sieves are there. Even your mother, she used flour, and that flour is used to separate the husk from the flour only, from atta. In Hindi we call it atta. So basically that the pore should be this much smaller than it can pass through the sieve easily. If you have taken a larger pores of a sieve, or a sieve which is having the larger pore, then what will happen? Even the husk and that of the flour will also get separated together. So there is no need of such kind of a sieving process, because it ultimately there will be no separation occur, so the process remain as such. Okay, so we can say that the size of the whole of the sieve which is to be used depends upon the size of the particles. Okay, so we can say that the size of the holes of the sieve, size of the holes of the sieve to be used depends upon the size of the particles of the material. Size of the particles of the materials. Size of the particles of the material which is to be separated from the mixture. Okay? To be separated from the mixture. Okay, so the size of the holes of the sieve which is to be used, student, totally depend upon the size of the particles. Okay, it means it should be such kind that one, that is the larger particle, will remain in the seed and the smaller one should come out with from that of the whole of the seed. Okay. Now we can understand it with the help of a different kind of example, students, so that you can understand the process of the seeding. So the first one is the wheat flour. Okay, so we all know that before making chapati, your mother, she used to make dough, and with dough, how she used to prepare it? With the help of the flour, that is the wheat flour. We can say the grinded wheat flour, and that in Hindi we call it atta. Okay, so at first you know that it also consisting, that wheat flour consisting of a brown smaller particles present in it, that is we called it a husk. Okay, so we can say that the coarse particles is there of a flour is there, so we can separate that coarse particle of the flour from that of the wheat flour with the help of a sieve. Even you have seen, student, your mother, she used to do it. She used to sieve the atta. Okay, and what she used to do, she used to separate the smaller, the finer particles of flour from that of the coarse particle. Okay, so by this method, she used to separate both of them. Let me write it. Wheat flour. Wheat flour is used. Wheat flour, actually we get wheat flour from a flour mill. Okay, so wheat flour which is carried from flour mill, should be sieved by using sieve with a very small hole. Okay, by using sieve with a very small hole. Okay, so we can say that a wheat flour, you can use it which is carried from that of a flour mill. It is used by means we use a sieve that consisting of a very small holes in it. Okay, so how can we do so, students? So you see, student, this wheat flour, it consisting of a coarse particle. Okay, so it consisting of the coarse particles, and what we used to do, that we used to take this coarse particle, keep it on that of the sieve. Okay, and start moving it back and forth. So we can say start moving it back and forth continuously. By this movement, what happened? The finer particles of that of the wheat flour will come out. Okay, so see, so finer particles comes out. Okay, finer particle will comes out, while that of the coarse particle, we can say it will remain on that of the sieve. Okay, so we can say the coarse particle will remain on sieve. So one is there which is a finer particle, it will come outside. And why does it come outside, student? It is because the finer particles are smaller in size, and the coarse particle being larger in size, it will remain there. So you can see, students, by this we are able to separate that of the finer flour mill from that of the coarse one. Okay, now you see, students, this finer particle, it will be used for making dough, which is to be made by using a water, and finally with that we can make the chapati. So this is a very common example, student, which happens in every house. We are very familiar with it, and this process which your mother she used to do every day, you can say that process is a sieving process itself, and the equipment by which she used to separate the larger to that of the smaller one is known as a sieve. Okay. Now, not only this student, if you see the second example, so you have seen that before the construction of the houses, the labor, what they used to do, they used to take a sieve. Okay, so they used to take a sieve, a large sieve is there, and they used to keep the sand over it, and they start moving the sieve back and forth. By this, the finer sand particle will come outside, while the impurities which is present, the leaves are there or pebbles are there, all these which is present in the sand will remain on the sieve. Okay, so we can say the sand which is present, it is helpful in separating the finer sand from each other. Not only this student, you have seen different kind of sieves used by your mother in separating the grains from each other, whether it is a wheat grain or in the pulses also. So she used to separate it by using a grain. Obviously, the size varies. The larger particle which is to be separated from the smaller one cannot pass through the hole, and the other one can pass through the hole. Okay, so sand, I think you all have seen that how before the process of a construction, as well as the grains which is to be done by your mother at your houses. So these are some of the examples of the process, that is sieve. Okay.